I'm not paid to be a role model. I'm paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court.
Here's the pass to Leonard. Puts it up. Yes! Is it the shoe?
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
One of the world's most talented athletes is retiring. It is true what somebody said today. There was Babe Ruth and Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky in front. Saved by Flaherty. The rebound. Score!
Favre just threw it perfectly right over him to Kory David. Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Game on! Game on!
That's right, baby. Another Friday afternoon, 3:30. You know what time it is. WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Happy Friday, everyone. It's a football Friday. More on that later. Y'all know the drill. Your host for today, Joshua Umahi. That's me. Joined by me, I have Matt Leonard. How are we?
I am doing fantastic, Josh. The Mets play the Phillies tonight. Start of a 3-game series. I'm hoping for a sweep. I can't stand Philadelphia. I just can't.
The word I want to use to express how I feel about Philadelphia, I cannot say.
You can't really use it, can you?
I cannot say over FCC Airways, but I do not like the Phillies, and I don't like Philadelphia.
No.
That. Kory David, my boy, you're back on a Friday.
I'm feeling good. Giants got a win last night.
Yo, you really count preseason as a win?
That's part of the 9 wins he was predicting. That's why.
See, it makes a lot more sense now. Okay.
They're going to win all 3 preseason games and win 6 games, and Kory will be right somehow.
He's just speechless. Like, nah, y'all only have to do that.
I got you so good with that. Come on.
You see these out-of-town fans that they teams are out of town. They ganging up on the guy who actually roots for the team.
Yeah, whatever. Enjoy your Daniel Jones and your old project over there. Enjoy that.
His decision-making skills.
Yes. New to the Friday show, Ross Levine. What's up?
Hello.
I feel like I never see you anymore. I'm not on Wednesday anymore. Not on Monday anymore.
Well, I haven't been able to come the last couple of Wednesdays.
Well, last Wednesday we canceled the show, unfortunately.
Yes. For good reason, though.
We were in the city. We were occupied.
Oh. Yes.
But the Mets are on that stupid network tonight, Apple TV, of course, which is stupid.
Oh my God! Can I start with this?
Yes.
Because it was brought to my attention Howie Rose had the all-time tweet on that situation, right?
Yes. Oh yes. Please read.
Have you seen this?
Please read that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But please read it for the people.
Howie Rose tweeted about 6 hours ago. Looks like tonight's game is on HGTV3 or Bravo or something. So we will gladly welcome our expanded listening audience. Wayne Randazzo and I will be here for you on WCBS 880 with pregame at 6:30. I think tomorrow is on Weather Channel Plus, but no worries, it's not an exclusive.
Yeah, and then the Mets Brave series next week will be on Comedy Central Plus. What other channels do we have now? I just lose track of all the shameless money grabs that these networks are doing.
Discovery Plus, the thing.
Discovery Plus.
That's a thing.
We talked about PFF Plus rather yesterday.
What is that? Oh, God, yeah.
That is
I forgot what it was.
That's actually the biggest joke of them.
It's irrelevant to me. I forgot what it was.
That's actually, it should be irrelevant to everybody. But you have to get a subscription to see somebody's run blocking and pass blocking grade. But
why do we care about that, first of all? Advanced metrics in baseball are one thing. In football, I do not understand.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Let's stop wasting time on that and get the show on the road. 516-572-7440. Sports fans, that's the number to dial to join today's show. We want to hear from you, definitely. Let's start on the state of New York baseball. Now, it's a very interesting time. Mets actually overtook the Yankees in overall record last week. And again, the Yankees and the Mets as a collective have kind of been the talk of New York, right?
Arguably of baseball.
Yeah,
both New York teams are good. That runs the league.
Let's call it what it is. Football here was a disappointment last year. Basketball disappointed.
Yep.
The Mets and Yankees since day one have been phenomenal. Have had their fans on sky high. But now you look, and they're going in kind of opposite directions here.
I would say that's a good way to put it.
Ross, since you're our guest today, I wanted to start with you.
I mean,
the Yankees haven't looked too hot lately. How are you feeling about their overall? What's their overall feel as a fan?
I'm still not. I wouldn't be panicking, but I'm definitely getting a little more concerned that maybe that hot stretch and maybe I don't want to say they're not trying as hard because that's not fair, and but I will say is they had one of the best stretches you could ever have, and I think you're seeing that winning 115 games or whatever that was never going to happen, and I think that
you've been saying that wasn't going to happen for this whole season.
There was a time they were on pace for like 122, which is so ridiculous because the record's 116, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I just don't think it was ever going to happen because at some point they're going to hit a little bit of a dip. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this much, but I do have a little bit of some concern. The pitching has not been as strong. The offense has definitely cooled off, particularly the game against the Mariners in that 13-inning game where the base running was horrendous in that game. It was what you're seeing as of late is kind of what you saw last year, which was a team that was not very good on the base pads, not very good defensively, and not very good offensively either. That's what you're seeing this time around, is what you saw last year. And look, let's put it this way, they did not make the trade for Luis Castillo. Now, you can say the Mariners gave up a lot for him, and that may be true, but here's the facts. The 3 times Castillo has faced the New York Yankees, he has owned them every single time. He has kind of given them a taste of their own medicine because he went 8 innings in one game, no runs, 7 innings, 1 run, and the other game, 6 2/3, 3 runs. So he has owned them every single time. And even though it's only 1 star, Frankie Montas was awful.
Was not great last start.
Yeah, so the early returns are not great, and even Benintendi, not great. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And it's. I was worried about these moves that he made, and turned out I'm right. So far, it's not been great.
That's the key, the so far. I mean, I feel like Benintendi's got the potential to heat up at any time. He's not going to be, Aaron Judge hitting homers left and right. He had, 3 homers on the year or something when he came to the Yankees. Yeah. He's not a power guy anymore. Never really was that big of a power guy, but guy was hitting over 300 when he got here. That's good. It's really, really good, obviously.
Right.
I think he's got the potential to get hot. Montas, I don't want to say you're right, Ross, not because it's something against you, but I want him to be good for this team,
It's not fair to him. It's just Sonny Gray. That's it. It's Sonny Gray, and that's it.
You think it's the Sonny Gray syndrome again?
Well, yeah, because it's very similar. He came from Oakland, Gray in Oakland, and then he comes to the Yankees. Where
Sonny Gray had issues, though. Didn't he have issues? He couldn't pitch in New York was one, and he took too long in between pitches, and the offense had a thing. And
well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. You got to remember, Oakland, nobody is watching that many games on the West Coast.
That is true. There's no pressure playing in Oakland whatsoever. Yeah. I don't care if you win 100 games in Oakland. There's no pressure on you at all.
That's the perfect segue to the point I wanted to get to, because we saw it last year with Joey Gallo and into this year. And again, he wasn't that great in Texas, but again, you're expecting him. He wasn't. But you're expecting him.
No, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you're expecting him to kind of go to a winning organization and produce more. So we saw
he's doing that now.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you seen his stats with the Dodgers?
It's insane, and we really have to. I think it's a real thing now. Whether people actually think it's a real thing, again, 516-572-7440 for your thoughts on this. The pressure of not just playing in New York, but as a Yankee in the pinstripes.
It's so much more. It's so much more.
It's all the eyeballs are on you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot
especially if you suck like Joey Gallo did for all season, all of last year. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's bad. And a lot of people are just... There's a lot of players on the Yankees that have not lived up to their back of their supposed-to-be baseball card. Example... Gleyber Torres. Now, Gleyber Torres had a bounce-back season, and he had a great start to the season. But since then, he has not hit much.
How about Josh Donaldson as an example for that, too?
Donaldson's been terrible. And again, I was in love with the trade. Looking back, it's still a terrible trade, no matter how you slice it. If
IKF hit over 300 and played Gold Glove defense, would you say the same thing?
I don't love the Donaldson contract. And I think that contract is so bad where it almost overtakes that a little bit. And it just it doesn't. That trade never made sense from the start. And look, I get you want to get rid of Gary Sanchez. I understood that. That is perfectly fine. I had no problem with them moving on from Gary Sanchez because I think Gary Sanchez was one of the problems last season. Mm-hmm. However, you could make the case though that now you took on more money and you got a shortstop where I personally think it's more of a stopgap shortstop until Volpe is ready, but. No prospect is a sure thing. Okay, that's number one. There's no such thing as a sure prospect. Look at Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres was supposed to be a great second baseman / shortstop.
And he's been okay.
He hasn't really lived up to what he was supposed to be. He's not a terrible player, but he's not what everybody thought he was going to be. And you can make the case for a lot of those players that they have brought in. And really outside of Aaron Judge, not a lot of these players are exactly developed well by the New York Yankees. And I know it's silly to say that, but it's actually true because a lot of them has been more from other organizations to the Yankees. It's not so much the Yankees themselves exactly developing them that well or making them great. Like Clay Holmes came from Pittsburgh. Now, I give them credit for making him really good, but he came from Pittsburgh. You got to remember they don't come from the Yankees organization. They come from other teams.
We talked about this yesterday, and it's kind of like you'd sound very down on your team, which is fair. They've played like trash for an extended period, but
month and a half to 2 months now.
Yeah, it's been bad. It's been really bad. But again, Matt calls it luck. I call it I'll say magic.
I didn't say all luck. I said they've had a lot of luck to this point.
Luck, magic.
A lot of things have gone right for the Yankees that shouldn't have gone right. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, you had.
It's not a Yankee hate thing either. I said yesterday, Ross, did you expect Matt Carpenter to become Babe Ruth for a month?
No.
No.
But you know what it is? And Don LaGrega on the Michael Kay show said this in the past. It seems like anybody that wears the uniform is good.
That's exactly right. Because, first of all, media perception.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's because when you see these players leave, they're not as good. I mean, unless your name is, Sonny Gray's not been terrible since he left.
He's been better since he left the Yankees, at least in the first few years. But now he's coming back to earth a little bit.
He was good with the Reds.
Yeah,
he's okay with the Twins. And look, I don't watch a lot of Twins games, but Gary Sanchez.
Why would you?
No, I don't. But Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela are not bad for the Twins. They're not terrible, but they're not.
Urshela's not what he was. Sanchez obviously is a little better because it's not hard to regress from Yankees Gary Sanchez that we saw last year. It's not hard to get worse than that. I mean, it's very hard to get worse. I'm saying, not hard to improve.
Yeah,
so you got to go up from there.
Yeah, you can only go up, and they're just the Yankees are just. Look, there's going to be a lot of talk around Cashman and Aaron Boone if they don't go where they want to be. If they lose in the championship series to Houston, or they lose before they get to Houston, that's
even worse.
That's even worse. There's going to be questions around Boone and Cashman for sure because they didn't get Castillo, and they didn't really go all out. And they were good, but they didn't go all out like trade Volpe and get So I know that's not realistic, but that's what they wanted.
Let's say. Sorry, Josh. Let's say the Yankees, you said, they lose in the ALCS, that'd be a failure. They lose before that is obviously a failure. Let's say they get to the World Series, hypothetically, and they lose to the World Series. No matter who they lose to, they lose in the World Series. Do you view that as a failure? They got to the championship finally. They got there. Progress has been made, technically.
Yeah. Is it a failure if they lost to a certain?
Don't do that. I didn't want it. I could have. I didn't do that.
If they lost rival in Queens,
I didn't want to do
that. That would be rough.
How does that affect it though? Your opponent, you lose in the World Series regardless.
It's hard to say it's a failure to get to the World Series.
It's not a failure. Yeah. It's not.
They fired Joe Girardi and they got one game away. Remember that?
Yeah, I still disagree with that decision. I still would have kept Joe Girardi. I know Aaron Boone's been. You look at the record, and I don't look much into records, by the way, because I realize that Boone's had an insane team to work with. He's had Aaron Judge to work with. It's not that hard. I mean, Joe Girardi didn't have that type of team, especially at the end. But there would be questions. It wouldn't be as bad if they lost in the World Series. If they lost before that, yes, it would be bad, and there would be a lot of questions around Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, even though I think they got so much closer with Girardi Should have kept him. They hired Boone. They haven't been as close.
If I were a Yankee fan, I would not blame Aaron Boone unless he makes some big blunders or something in the postseason.
But he might.
He might. We don't know what's going to happen. If he manages well in the postseason and they lose based on the talent on the field and it's not Aaron Boone's fault, I'm calling for Cashman to head to the Yankee fan.
I feel like Aaron Boone is, again, we criticize him. We criticize him after the Subway Series moves.
Yeah.
Various moves throughout his tenure. But it's hard to blame a guy that just spits out 90-win seasons every year.
And look at what he's given some of these years. Remember that year they won 100 games and like everybody got hurt at some point?
I understand that, but still, it's hard to keep winning 90 games.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, to his credit, they won 100 games. Everybody got hurt.
You know why? You know why people don't take any credit for a couple reasons. One, they haven't won the World Series since he's been there. That's part of it. And two,
but why is that the standard? He's been to us in 5 years. Do you expect to win a championship?
It's not my standard.
The Yankees, I'm saying. Why is it their standard?
That's what
the guy's been here less than 5 years, and you expect a championship out of the guy? Not you, but
I question the standard, and the reason why I think they look at it that way is because they look at it as you're in crappy American leagues. Sometimes you're not beating up the great teams. When you have played great teams, you've lost to them. And when the pressure's really on, because let's be honest, when you're playing the Royals, the awful Royals after they won the World Series or 2016, they've been terrible. So being up on the Royals is not exactly something you're going to parade about.
Well, they beat up on the Blue Jays pretty good this year, and the Blue Jays are really, really legit.
Yeah, they're coming along later on in the season, yeah.
That's true, yeah. Early in the season, they struggled a little bit. As a Yankee fan, are you nervous to play the Blue Jays now? If you had to play them, they're going to play them soon, I think, right?
They're going to play them soon.
In the next week or two, they're going to play the Blue Jays again.
Yeah, if they lost them, I'd be worried. I'll say this: if they lost to Boston, I'd be very worried.
That'd be concerning. That they're not looking too hot.
The Red Sox have just been.
That's the weekend series, right?
That's the weekend series.
They've been a joke. The Red Sox,
that was inevitable. It was.
But they started out pretty decent, and then you just see all these blooper reel errors in the outfield, game after game. They can't field. They're just a mess right now. So. Again, if you want to say the Yankees are still 71-41, and this is a great opportunity against the second division team, just go win 2 out of 3 or sweep them and you're back in business, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, again, you have Domingo Germán going, who's been great lately. Not great, but he's been improved lately.
He's been good lately.
And you're counting on him now because the move that really confused me, well, not confused because it doesn't really, I don't think it moves the needle that much, but the Jordan Montgomery move.
I mean, I still don't agree.
I still struggle because they're going on metrics and they're going on, again, Aaron Judge, I think, has been fine in center field, but
Bader's obviously an improvement. Bader's an improvement, arguably. Over almost anybody in the league, he's better in center field.
Exactly, but I can't remember a starter with like a 3.7 ERA.
Being traded for a defensive guy.
Can eat innings until, if you're not going to use him in the postseason, fine. But again, you have Nestor Cortez, who's pitched a lot of innings. You have all these pitchers who on the Yankees who haven't gone this far before, really.
Or they're coming off injuries like Tyone. They have innings limits.
It's just...
And Monty wasn't on an innings limit that I know of.
Yeah, I don't get the trade. I don't get it. Bader's still hurt, so I don't... It doesn't make sense. The trade made no sense.
Watch Bader put on the pinstripes, shave the hair and the beard, and become like Matt Carpenter, hit 7 home runs in a week.
I understand the move if Bader was healthy at the time of the trade.
Yeah.
You're waiting for him to get healthy, and that's the mind-boggling thing to me. If you want to trade for a nice defensive center fielder, you're going to need those in October. But to trade for a guy, anytime a player is injured, you can't just predict, he's going to come back fine. You can't do that.
No, you can't.
No matter if you think it's the lightest injury in the world, it affects guys differently. It affects every guy differently. You don't know how he's going to come back. It's just confusing to me.
I don't get the that trade. I can understand the other trades, but I don't get that one. And look, it doesn't look great when you're losing 2 out of 3 to Seattle, and you're not you're not playing as well. I mean, look, what I questioned with Boone here, because he's the manager, was like even that game, the last game against Seattle. Why is Alberto Abreu in that game? Again,
that's a great question. Maybe they were, the extra inning game got them tired or something. They used a lot of pitchers, whatever. Maybe they had nobody else. Maybe, there's injuries we don't know about, or guys are tired and couldn't go that day, or you never know. They don't tell you everything, and that's what frustrates me about the baseball sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, especially with a guy on base too. It made no sense.
Who was available besides him, though?
I think he had half the bullpen rested.
Oof.
Half the bullpen, I think.
Then that's a bit of a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
High leverage situation. any manager that is decent at their job, you bring in a guy you trust, at least enough.
Yeah, it made no sense. That's why people have questions about Boone.
It's fair to question it, and again, it's fair to question the Yankees, but again, they're still 30 games over 500. They play the Red Sox this weekend. Let's see if they can get back on track against the lowly Boston Red Sox.
Can I give you one note on that series real quick before we move? I'm going on the Mets, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll give you one note on that series. They're on Sunday Night Baseball because, of course, every time they play a weekend series, ESPN needs to start playing them on their channel. Isn't that right, though? Like, every time they play the Red Sox on a weekend, they're going to be on Sunday Night Baseball. Both teams could be awful, and they'll still put it on there.
Yeah.
Because it's the rivalry. And
they swear it moves the needle no matter what.
When both teams are good, I will give them credit. That is premium viewing. Both teams are good.
Yeah.
But this year, the Red Sox are terrible. The Yankees I'll say should, because they're not playing great. It's beat up on them really bad. But the note I have on the series is this. Mm-hmm. Sunday Night Baseball, obviously, there's two broadcasts. There's the awful Carl Ravitch, Eduardo Perez, and David Cohn broadcast that we all rag on so much and we hate them.
Yeah.
Then there's the K-Rod broadcast that is even worse. I have never watched a K-Rod broadcast. I never will. But this week, I can promise you I will not be tuning in. You would not be able to pay me to tune in because they have a special guest joining them for their broadcast.
Uh-oh.
You know who this is?
I have no idea.
Why would I not want to tune in to a Yankee broadcast? Who's on the show? What would keep me away from watching this? If it's two Yankee guys, who are they bringing in? What's currently a big story airing on ESPN that is not a live thing? Like a live event? The captain!
Really?
They're bringing in Jeter!
Okay. Really?
They're bringing in Jeter for K-Rod this week.
Alex Rodriguez approved this.
I suppose. I don't know if he has any say in the matter. Like, the captain's big on ESPN right now. Obviously, he's getting a lot of ratings. Everyone's watching it. I'm not watching it. But
hold on. Everybody, we'll get to the Mets after the break. Stick around. A-Rod and Derek Jeter in the same room?
Now that you mention that, maybe I'll watch this.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Michael Kay is like Derek Jeter's his child or something. So this is going to be interesting.
This is hilarious. Do you remember the last time we publicly saw A-Rod and Derek Jeter in the same room?
Well, they're not going to be together. It's going to be on a video call.
I get that, like the Zoom thing, but
yeah,
do you remember how
it's like the Manning cast?
Do you remember it was like a C-SPAN, some weird channel like that interview?
Oh my God,
that was the most awkward conversation.
Oh, you just brought back a memory. Oh my God,
just no eye contact.
What year was that? How long ago was that? Oh
that had to be
after Jeter retired, right?
It had to be after Jeter retired.
So 15 and on, but
yeah,
wow.
In the Captain documentary too, and I've known anybody that's a Yankee fan or just a New York sports fan knows how.
Oh yeah.
Whether you want to say the media pumped it up or not.
The beef.
Those two did not like each other.
Well,
it was a weird thing with shortstop. Alex Rodriguez was the better shortstop, people want to say, but Derek Jeter earned that spot. All this stuff. And they had beef with each other. It was just...
If you want my opinion on the matter, I didn't want to go down the Jeter hole, but I will. We're going to get a call from our friend in a second, I promise you. We so will.
516-572-7440.
Anthony, if you're listening, fight me. But, yeah, I firmly believe, and a lot of New Yorkers, even Yankee fans, agree with me on this. Jeter wasn't the best shortstop on his own team. I get it, A-Rod did the steroids. That takes a lot away from him. I understand that. But Mariners A-Rod is, in my opinion, arguably the greatest shortstop to ever play baseball.
Wow.
I give that to Ripken because the whole career he played shortstop and A-Rod moved to third base. If A-Rod stayed at short, we'd be calling him the greatest shortstop of all time. He would.
I'm allowing this because I know you're a peak over longevity guy.
No, but A-Rod had longevity too.
He did. But you're saying that iteration of A-Rod in Seattle was the greatest shortstop of all time.
A-Rod had everything, though. I mean, I get the steroids were a thing. It was a very long period of steroids. I fully understand that. But I don't think he was doing it as a rookie in Seattle, and that was one of the best players I've ever watched.
It's an interesting kind of conversation because if you're talking best of all time versus most skilled, because we have this conversation in basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyrie is the most skilled point guard of all time, like that kind of thing.
If you really break them down, and I'm gonna have too much time left in the block. I don't want to go too into it, but A-Rod was, people say Jeter's defense was not what people really thought because hit the jump. Okay, he had the jump throws and everything, and that was his trademark, the Derek Jeter throw, whatever. A-Rod as a rookie was one of the most special shortstop defenders I've ever seen. A-Rod was the better hitter for a longer period of time in terms of power and productivity driving in runs. I don't know. Answer the phone.
Hey, we got a caller on WHPC Sports Talk. Caller, I'm going to be honest with you. You got like 2 minutes. Get it off your chest quick. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
All right, let's do this. This is Justin driving to Citi Field to watch the Mets.
Very nice.
The Phillies boys. But I want to quickly about the shortstop thing. I think A-Rod in Texas was far better than what he was in Seattle. Look at his numbers for the few years he was on the Rangers. He was hitting like 50 home runs every single year. And the other thing, quickly, is Nomar Garciaparra for like a good maybe 3 or 4 year run. It was those three. It was A-Rod, Jeter, and Nomar. And I honestly always thought Nomar was the best of the bunch, and then injuries got the worst of them. But definitely look at the Nomars like 98 through like 2001-ish, and definitely look at the A-Rod's Rangers run. Some of the best baseball ever. Have a good one, boys.
That's a great call out, Justin. That's perfect.
Justin. Yeah, people be sleep on Nomar Garciaparra. That's a great
because he's like Derrick Rose type. He got hurt and the injuries derailed his career. Ended up playing first base by the end. That's how you know.
He is super slept on. I mean, in New York and just worldwide, we talk about A-Rod, Derek Jeter. Those are the obvious shortstops that come to name. But
I'll give you a quote from a clip I saw from the captain about Jeter and A-Rod's beef. I love this line from Jeter, and I'll give him credit. This is a great line, and I'm sure A-Rod was not happy that it was aired on television. Jeter said, and there's a great line in life, too. He goes, how does it start? He said, loyalty, what is it? Oh, man. He had a loyalty thing where he's like,
I know it.
Something along the lines of loyalty one way is stupidity.
Is stupidity, exactly.
That's the point. Loyalty one way is stupidity. He said, I'm a very, very loyal person, but loyalty one way is stupidity. Referring straight to Alex Rodriguez.
You literally are.
That was direct shot at A-Rod. I'm not a big fan of A-Rod, the person. I'm really not. But,
it's so funny. They won a World Series together, and they kind of like smoothed things over. But
Jeter won like 3 or 4 before A-Rod even got there.
Yeah, I'm having real fun going down memory lane. Just how petty these two were in the media and to each other.
I may tune into K-Rod for the first time on Sunday. Now that you brought that up, maybe like C-SPAN. A-Rod has gotten so fake though ever since the J-Lo thing. You ever noticed this? A-Rod is the most fake person on like Fox News. He gets along with David Ortiz, and I'm like, you really like this guy? You really think A-Rod likes David Ortiz?
I love that we went down this road, yo.
Like, I mean, we gotta go. They're laughing together, and Ortiz gets along with anybody. He's a great guy, very funny, very personable. I don't think he cares about A-Rod because, first of all, he got the best of him many times.
Yeah, Ortiz got good energy. A-Rod and Derek Jeter.
A-Rod is so fake, and I'm going to tune in now on Sunday. I'm going to watch this, and I'll report back Monday.
Weird, petty energy, A-Rod and Jeter. We got great energy on WHPC Sports Talk right now. We'll keep it going after the break. Stick around. Let's pay some bills, Matt.
Let's pay some bills.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by The Irish Poet, a restaurant and bar located at 1891 Wanto Avenue in Wanto. Our motto is, you come as a stranger, but leave as a friend. Hi, I'm Mike McNeff. I'm one of the owners of The Irish Poet. Our menu includes appetizers, burgers, tacos, and Irish favorites like fish and chips, shepherd's pie, and Irish spring rolls. We also provide a kids menu. Our banquet room can cater for events up to 70 people, or you can catch all the games in one of our 20 TVs. More information is available at 516-588-1891 or on our website, theirishpoetny.com.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by The Nest at NCC, a food pantry located on the campus of Nassau Community College. The Nest offers groceries, personal care items, school supplies, and new clothing to anyone in need who are part of the campus community who are finding it hard to make ends meet. The Nest is a nonprofit agency that accepts donations of food, basic health supplies, and more. Whether you are able to provide help or need some, more information is available by email, foodinthenest@gmail.com. That's foodinthenest@gmail.com, or online at nestncc.weebly.com. That's nestncc.weebly.com.
It's an honor just to be nominated.
A 2022 finalist for the Best College Radio Station Marconi Award, and the only community college radio station in the nation in the category.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
This is the award-winning 90.3 WHPC HD Garden City.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Play WHPC.
And available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeart, and on the WHPC app.
90.3 WHPC.
on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree. Inside the 25 and a timeout taken.
3rd and 7, Matt Moore has time.
Right to Revis, interception. Revis down the side, cuts back to this side, one block, and he's gone. Darrelle Revis all the way home. 100 yards, touchdown, New York Jets.
Rodgers in trouble. It's going to get there. He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in it? In the end zone, it is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. A game ender for the Packers.
Keenum steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs, sideline, touchdown. Unbelievable. Vikings win it.
This is WHPC Sports Talk.
Football Friday.
That's right, we're back, and you know what time it is. It is another Football Friday on WHPC Sports Talk.
Yo, just quick thing about that intro. About that. Why at the end when it said Football Friday? Why did it sound like Russell Wilson's "Let's Ride"?
Oh, that would have been a good clip in there.
Or Mr. Unlimited.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Broncos country. Broncos country.
We hoping y'all riding with WHPC Sports Talk right now on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Once again, Joshua Umahi joined by Matt Leonard, Kory David, and Ross Levine. Listen, Football Friday, we promise we do it every week. We promise you we're going to break down every single division in the NFL by the time the season starts. Today, we got the NFC and AFC North, Matt's Packers. Got the Ravens in there, the defending AFC champion Bengals. We're going to break their divisions down. I cannot wait for that. But hey, talk Yankees the first block. And we talked about both of these baseball teams going in different directions right now. But if you're a Mets fan, again, 516-572-7440. You're riding high right now. And again, you have another big divisional weekend series against the Philadelphia Phillies. You got Max Scherzer on the hill tonight. Man.
Tomorrow's the big attraction, though. I love Scherzer. Tomorrow's the attraction.
The Grom Day. Day. We get to see him for the first time this year against the Philadelphia Phillies. And that last start, man.
If he has anything close to that, I will be so happy.
That last start.
He's going to go longer, supposedly, in this one. A little bit longer. They're going to stretch him out.
Now, again, the no-hitter and perfect games jinx stuff, I'm like, I never get into that. But I didn't say anything. But in my mind, like, after 5 innings, I was like, this guy's going to pitch a no-hitter. This stuff is unhittable.
He wasn't going to stay in the game. That's why I didn't care.
Regardless, he was going to pitch. He wasn't going to give up a single walk, hit, weak contact that turned into an error. He wasn't going to do that. His stuff was unhittable.
And Dansby Swanson came up and
who and he walked. What's his name?
Oh, who's before Dansby? Wasn't Acuna.
Wasn't Acuna.
Was not Acuna. I was Freddie Freeman. That was last year. Nope. Olsen.
Yeah, the walk and
Olsen.
The crowd was so charged up, it took all the air out of the building when DeGrom walked him and then the home run. But regardless, we got the...
They still won.
Yeah, we got the job done versus
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
They gave him run support.
And again, people... This is another big series. I'm not that high on the Phillies, but they have been playing really, really well lately.
They're hot.
They're really hot.
I'm afraid.
You're afraid for the Mets?
I'm afraid that the Mets may struggle in this series because the Phillies are red hot. Now,
the Mets.
Yeah, now I will say, though, is in a benefit to the Mets, the Philadelphia Phillies have played some awful baseball teams. They have played against awful baseball teams. I mean, the Washington Nationals are awful. They played the Marlins, who are a joke right now. And they play the Pirates. Not exactly the bestest of teams they played. And it's been very close when they win.
Yeah.
They don't usually blow them out. So that gives the Mets an advantage.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe that they're that good. And again, we have the Phillies this weekend, then we immediately have another series against Atlanta. And if we can
bring them on.
If we can get the job done these next two series, and we look at who the Braves have to play left, they have a really tough schedule left. The Mets have after this.
Nah, they got the Yankees. They got the Yankees. The Dodgers are coming to Citi Field.
But those are the literally only two series.
That is the hardest two we're going to have after Atlanta. And September should be, in theory, easy.
But what is that?
Very easy.
Exactly 5-6 games where you're like, oh, these are going to be tough.
They play Atlanta in late September. People say, "Oh, it's for the division." I think if you get the job done, the division will be wrapped up by the time you play Atlanta. Yeah. Imagine that. Well, you play Atlanta, the second to last season of the year is in Atlanta. Imagine going down there with the division clinched.
That'd be great.
Think about that.
I would love that.
That is the dream right there.
I can't stand the Braves. I actually don't know who I hate more.
I hate the Phillies more than the Braves.
Braves are my top.
I think
in the division, the Braves are my top.
I think I hate the Braves team more, but I will always have a special hatred for Philly fans.
Certain Philly players throughout history, obviously there's a big one that stands out, and that's Mets fans.
Yes.
But Chase Utley, of course.
Oh, I was going to say who shall not be named.
No, Chase Utley. He was a Dodger when the moment happened with Ruben Tejada and everything.
Once a Philly, always a Philly, though. He proved that in that moment.
Yeah, dirty player, but whatever. He's going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot.
No.
He's eligible, I think, next year or the year after. Everyone's like, oh, Chase Utley played the game the right way. And I was like, I'm going to play one clip for you and show you why that's not true.
I will throw open my mouth if Chase Utley is a Hall of Famer.
He probably will be, is the sad part.
I correct that statement. If he's a first or second ballot Hall of Famer, I will throw up.
He's going to get it eventually, and I don't think that should happen. But.
You know who you won't have to see this series?
Who's
Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber will not be in this series, and you know he loves licking his chops to face the New York Mets every single
Especially
time.
at Citi Field.
At Citi Field, so you don't have to face him. Now they do have still a very good lineup, but
Harper is out as well.
Harper's out
still
as well. Now, but you see, that hasn't stopped them, though. That's the problem.
But you just said they've been playing really bad teams, though.
No, that's true. They have played bad teams.
Against Scherzer and DeGrom is a different story.
Good luck.
Completely different story. You're not facing Patrick Corbin. At least they're not facing that. Because anybody's hitting off of Patrick Corbin.
He's batting practice. It's one of the worst contracts I've seen for a pitcher in a long time.
Yeah, so Scherzer and DeGrom are different type of pitchers. Now, I think the only way the Mets win this series, I think both of them, even Bassett, too, needs to go really deep.
What do you mean the only way, though? Like, think about their top three pitchers are going against the Phillies. And you said the Phillies' best hitter in Schwarber currently is out. Harper, who's been their best player for the last 3-4 years, is out.
But the Mets bullpen, I don't know if I trust that against the Phillies lineup.
Well, if you look at the Phillies starters in this series, we're going to have good pitching matchups. Tonight is Suarez for the Phillies. Tomorrow's Aaron Nola. And Sunday is our old friend Zach Wheeler.
Our old friend.
So, Zach Wheeler this year has not pitched well against the New York Mets.
No.
I take total pride in that.
And it's a nice change of pace from last year.
Well, last year he was one of the best pitchers, arguably the best in the National League.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns obviously won the Cy Young, but Zach Wheeler was right on his tail.
Yeah, and the thing with Wheeler is this year, since he's been a Philly, he's been healthy, and with the Mets he was not healthy, and
I think they unlocked something there in Wheeler too, because he just looks different in Philly.
Yeah, I mean
different level of confidence.
Yeah, but in terms of so when they moved off from Girardi, and their bullpen was awful, their pitching was not very good.
Yeah.
And they bring in Rob Thompson, and now all of a sudden those things are better. Do you really put a lot of stock into the manager change, like that helped the pitchers? Because I'll be honest, I don't. I really don't. And I'm not saying Girardi was great. By the way, I'm not. He deserved to get fired. I get that. That's fine. But
it's not what you want.
It's not what you want. I still miss Girardi, but
it's not what you want.
It's always going to come up.
But you know what I'll always say though, when Philly fans always bring up, well, the pitchers are better because Girardi's gone. Stop. I mean, really, these guys are better because they're better. That's what it is. And look, Rob Thompson, great for him. Great that he got his opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's the pitchers got better. That's what it is. And by the way, Familia, it didn't help him because he's not even on a baseball team.
Do you still think the Mets are going to somehow figure it out to get him?
Oh, I think
you still think so?
I have a weird feeling they will.
Do you think someone's going to go down? They're going to get Familia back?
I have a weird feeling they will.
I think they're smart enough to not take a flyer on him personally. But
I agree. I don't trust.
It would be a very Mets thing to do if they signed him. I agree.
I don't trust the bullpen against this lineup if the bullpen has to come in. I think that's why I'm saying sure. And DeGrom needs to go deep. And I think, and again, because DeGrom thinks he could opt out or should opt out, even though he hasn't pitched in a full year, I have a significant problem with that. You know what? Have him go 7-8 innings. Why not?
Okay.
Why not? You think you're going to be that great? You should get $40-50 million a year? Good. Then you know what? Go deep.
All right.
But you can't afford to be petty in the middle of a pennant chase.
Yeah, you want him healthy no matter what.
I get what you're saying, but
these are divisional games. These are the games that he needs to pitch deep. Like, okay, I can understand he's facing the Royals. Okay.
What if he has 100 pitches by the 6th inning?
All right, then you take him out because he's throwing 100 pitches.
He's going to go about 80 to 85, I think they said, around there. Max 85, like super max 85.
He's going to have very quick innings then.
If we're talking like the September series you mentioned, Matt, against the Braves,
yeah,
I understand it, but they're definitely going to be cautious with him, and they're going to work his way.
Well, the division's wrapped up, and we go down to Atlanta. I say don't even pitch him.
Absolutely.
Don't even pitch him at all. Maybe get him some work, like 2 innings or something in a real game. But
another bullpen.
If the division's wrapped up, just sit, like the NFL, rest your guys.
Absolutely. How about this? The Mets 9-2 so far in August. So it's really a tale of 2 months for the New York Mets remaining schedule. So they got 3 against the Phillies that we just mentioned, 3 against the Braves in Atlanta. Then you go to Philadelphia for 4, 2 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, 4 against the Rockies.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah. You got 3 against the Dodgers, though. So that's
going to be appointment viewing.
That's a real tough stretch and a real good test for the Mets. Can they stay hot through that stretch? And if they do, the division's a wrap, because you look at September, Nationals, Pirates, Marlins, Cubs, Pirates again, Brewers, Athletics, Marlins. Athletics.
In Oakland or here?
In Oakland.
Oh, let's go.
In Oakland. Then we go back to Citi Field against the Marlins, 3 against the Braves in Atlanta. That's the series we talked about.
Yep. And they end season at home against the Nationals, right?
That is cupcake in September.
Let me say this, because now I'm getting greedy now that you mentioned the schedule. Getting excited, I'm getting really greedy.
Okay.
How far are we back of the Dodgers? How many games back of the 1 seed?
By the way, just
take a look at that.
Play 500 the rest of August, and you're good.
I want them to go above 500 by as much as possible.
I hope so too. I can see them going.
These are teams they can beat. I'm not saying they will, but they can. They have the ability to.
Yeah, they do.
With the Grom and Scherzer in your rotation, you can beat anybody in baseball. I really believe that. Postseason especially.
Sorry to cut you off, Matt.
That's okay.
Mets are about 4.5 games back of the Dodgers, and it doesn't help that the Dodgers have won 10 straight.
That does not help at all.
The Mets have been red hot, and the Dodgers
they won like 9 of 10, so it's fairly close.
Yeah.
Let me look at the Dodgers' schedule coming up. Oh, that's even easier. Wow.
Yeah, it's not happening.
The Dodgers are starting a 3-game set in Kansas City. Then they go for 4 in Milwaukee against the Brewers. They come back to L.A. to play the Marlins 3 times. Then they play the Brewers. Then they go to Miami and come up to Queens.
Wow.
So they are probably going to win 20 straight games.
Yeah, they look like they got that home field advantage throughout October. They're going to schedule. They have
I'm just saying, though, it somehow could have been closer than that.
Yeah.
When the Mets-Dodgers series came, the Mets could have taken 2 out of 3. Imagine that.
People thought we were.
I'm getting real greedy now.
People thought we were acting psycho after the Brave series. If that happened, then forget it.
I'm not saying they won't overtake the Dodgers, but even if they sweep that series, I think the gap will be so big.
Absolutely.
That it won't overtake them. They won't be able to mathematically. But I think if you can win that series 2 out of 3 at least, you'll get closer.
And I don't care how big the gap will inevitably be in record. Yeah. The Mets and the Dodgers are on the same tier. We can agree there.
I don't know.
I think the Dodgers.
I still don't think so.
You still don't think so?
I still don't.
I still think the Dodgers are better.
The Dodgers are. I think they're a good amount better. I put the Dodgers and Houston in tier 1. They're like on a path for the World Series, and if they don't make it there, it's a total bust.
Yeah.
If the Mets don't make the World Series this year, I'll be upset, but I wouldn't say it's a bust or a failure.
Because the Mets are I hate to quote Annie Martino on this, but the Mets are trending upwards.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, they want to prove themselves that 2020 championship wasn't a fluke.
The Dodgers have they're plateauing, but they're so high it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can't agree that the Mets and Dodgers aren't on the same tier, but we'll see what the caller has to say. Caller, you are on WHPC Sports Talk. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
This is John from Freeport.
What's up, John?
The Mets and Dodgers are, come on. The Mets are great right now. They're great. And I think Houston sometimes has an edge. But you think the Dodgers are better than the Mets?
I think the Dodgers are a decent amount better than the Mets. I think the Mets are hot right now. I'm a big Mets fan. The Mets are hot right now. I'll give them that. The Dodgers have won 10 games straight like 3 different times this year. You know how insane that is, Josh?
I understand that, but you can't say they're like 4.5 games separated. And they haven't had the Grom all season long, the Mets.
I called for 2 different reasons.
Yes.
I saw that they've set that lineup for Old Timers Day for the Mets, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. Maybe you could help me out with that, because I'm driving. I got to get off in a second. The second thing is I haven't been paying attention to the new playoff schedule. So tell me how it's going to work with the wild cards or the first seed. Just break that down for me. I appreciate it. Great show, and I'll be listening.
Thank you very much,
awesome.
John.
Thank you for the call, John.
All right, so for John here, the new playoff format is as follows. I finally did research on this so I can explain it. I hate they changed it, whatever. The top 2 seeds in the either league, American League, National League, I was at conference, American League, National League, top 2 teams get a bye, right? First round bye, they advance without playing anybody else, is what a bye means. Then,
yes, that's what
the third division winner left in that, meaning the 3 divisions, obviously per league. So the top 2 division winners get a bye. The third division winner will play, I believe, the lowest wild card. I think there's 3 wild cards. So 6 teams will make the playoffs from each league. Top 2 get a bye, and the other 4 we're going to duke it out to see who plays the top 2. And that's pretty much it. So I think it goes by seeding at that point. They got rid of the whole choose your opponent garbage. Thank God.
Oh, that would have been
because I hated that. They were talking about it in the lockout. Oh, maybe you choose your opponent. I don't like that. That's not sports.
Yeah, I can agree there.
I mean, as a Mets fan, I'd love to be able to pick on the Braves in the playoffs. That'd be awesome. But I think it's more fun when it happens naturally than you beat them. That's just my opinion, but that's what it is. Yeah, top 2 teams get a bye, 3 wild cards, and the main division winner. That's it.
To quickly kind of paint the picture a little further, let's give the current playoff picture in the National League and the American League now. I'll start with the National League. The Dodgers would be the 1 seed, bye. Mets 2 seed, they would also get a bye. Good. So that means the Cardinals would play, who's the first wild card team here. The Cardinals would play the Braves.
I watched that. I watched every game of that series. That's going to be amazing.
And then the Phillies. How about this? The Phillies would play the Padres.
No. I'm sorry. I have to correct you for a second.
Yeah.
The Cardinals would play the Padres because it's 1-4. Kind of like other sports. The Atlanta Phillies.
The Braves will play the Phillies.
I would root for Atlanta over the Phillies. Easy.
I'd rather play the Phillies in the playoffs. They don't have the roster for it.
They don't have it. The Braves are defending champions.
I'd much rather the experience. Their guys have been there and done that.
Think about this. So the Phillies haven't made the playoffs since 2011.
Exactly. That's why I'd rather play them.
That's the only way they can make the playoffs as a third wild card.
They're the second right now. The Padres are third.
I know, but let's say they drop. They drop to number 3.
After this series, they'll drop.
That's the only way they can make the playoffs. Is the commissioner helping them?
No, it's not like that.
Come on, but they never had the.
He didn't do it to say, let's get Bryce Harper in the postseason. He didn't do it for that.
I think I'm co-signing this Philly slander right now. I'm letting it rock.
You really think Rob Manfred to have the Phillies make the playoffs out of the playoff team?
No, I'm not. Look, I'm joking, by the way.
We're not serious.
I'm like, there's no way in hell.
I'm just telling you that there was never a third wild card before this year, and now all of a sudden there is, and they made it a third wild card.
I'm with you. I personally am not a fan of the new playoff format because I loved the 1-game playoff of the wild card game. Those are the most intense games of the year, always. Now we're not going to have that for the foreseeable future.
So, yeah, regardless of how it goes, the Phillies are getting pimp slapped in October.
Real quick, as far as the NL playoff picture goes, the only team that looks like they have a shot to sneak in are the Milwaukee Brewers, and with the trades they made, I see the playoff picture staying where it is.
Even if they didn't intend to mail it in, you traded your closer.
All-star closer. Really, really good guy.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. And you just let the Cardinals just walk right into first place.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's actually insane to me.
The Cardinals earned that. They swept the New York Yankees. They earned that.
But the Brewers, I don't know.
The Brewers also got lost to the series of the Pirates, so maybe you're right.
I hate the idea of a team in the middle of a divisional race trading their closer.
3 games up, not even divisional race. There were 3 games up first.
That's crazy.
When they traded Hader at the time.
To wrap up the baseball conversation, let's quickly give the AL playoff picture right now as it stands today.
The AL fans matter too.
Yes. Astros 1, Yankees 2. That means that the third wild card.
As it stands right now.
Mariners and...
no, Tampa's third.
Tampa's third.
Tampa's third, but Baltimore's a half game back of them. They're actually tighter, way tighter. Boston's technically still in it.
I don't think Boston's ever getting.
Boston's 4.5 back. They're mathematically, at this point in the season, I'll give them a shot.
Mathematically.
I'm saying.
But we know.
Any team I'm aware, but any team that's 4.5 back in mid-August, I'll give them a shot.
Yeah.
I guess.
And look, they have...
As a Mets fan, I know what that's like. I give them a shot.
Look, they have Alex Cora. Alex Cora, I could trust.
Maybe they can bang some trash cans, you know?
you know what I will say about Cora?
What?
He's a great manager. Okay, by the way, that's number 1. Number 2.
He is.
The one knock on Cora is that every year when they have a great season, the very next year, they always take a step back.
That's a good point.
It happens every year now.
Look at the World Series year. They were untouchable that year, and then 2019 they were pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the knock on Kory. Is the very next year. Now, don't get me wrong. You win a World Series, you take it. Who
That's
cares?
true.
You take it. Who cares?
Yeah, without Chris Sale, by the way, because he broke his wrist falling off his bike.
Yeah.
That's a miserable injury. They've had a miserable year.
I love that people Tatis did the same thing because it was the motorcycle. They're like, oh, don't do that.
Hey, that's a good point.
He's coming back, by the way. The Padres are about to get way better. He's on a rehab assignment right now, and when he comes back, they scare me.
It is going to be an insanely fun playoff race. These last 2 months in baseball are going to be on fire. We'll see how it ends up. Want to remind everybody that you are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Once again, Matt Leonard, Kory David, Ross Levine joined myself, Joshua Umahi. We played the Football Friday intro, so y'all know what it is.
Oh, we're not doing the bit?
We are.
No, my thing.
What's your thing?
The thing I put in.
We'll
the baseball bit.
Whoa.
What?
We'll get to it at the end.
Okay, cool.
We can circle back to it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not forgetting about you, Matt.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I worked hard to put stuff in the vault today.
you always grind it in there. We appreciate you.
I know. Thank
we
you.
definitely appreciate you.
All right, do it.
Football Friday. That's right, baby. As promised, we talked last week. Giants and Jets opening their preseason schedule this weekend.
Yeah.
Kory and Ross, your Giants got a 2-point win over the New England Patriots, 23-21. Real quick, I want to get both your guys' opinions. So Bill Belichick was quoted after the game as saying he was annoyed at the Giants blitzing so much in the preseason.
Say what he said, though.
You got it.
I didn't see this, by the way. I read the word. I didn't know it was the word. He put it on the sheet.
Oh,
Belichick.
miffed.
Yeah, miffed.
Miffed.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's such a Bill Belichick
What does
phrase.
miffed mean?
He was miffed. He was miffed. He was miffed that the Giants were blitzing too much. What do you guys think about that? Honestly,
well, it's football. So you can't be mad. Look, and actually, it's helping you because you have to prepare for the season, so you never know you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of a positive than a negative because people are going to go after Mac this year.
Oh, of course they are. He can't move.
What do you think, Ross?
I don't care. I really I don't care. It's like learn how to block it.
That's
absolutely right.
That's my thing. Like, why do you care so much?
It's kind of like when you're running up the score and you're winning. It's like, well, then stop me. Sorry.
The last thing the Patriots should be worried about is who's blitzing. They need to worry about who's going to be calling the plays for them this year.
Who's going to be stopping those blitzes or going against them?
Belichick is such a... Since Tom Brady left, he's become even more somehow of like an old geezer, curmudgeon type. I just can't stand that guy.
In the hoodie.
And don't get me started. We have another caller on WHPC Sports Talk. Caller, who are you? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, guys? My name's Alex, calling from Westbury. Just wanted to ask you guys your opinion from a Steelers fan perspective. What, realistically, each and every one of you, what do you think is a realistic outcome for the Steelers? What do you think their record's going to be this year?
That's a phenomenal question.
I say... Alex, just hold on for a few minutes. We're going to predict the AFC and NFC North coming up in like 5-10 minutes. I promise we will get to your Steelers. Don't worry.
I'll just give him a quick
give him a little sneak peek.
I believe the Steelers are going to make the playoffs on the wild card.
Okay.
Because I don't care about no coach in football. There's one coach I trust. Mike Tomlin to have a winning season.
Absolutely. Where are you on? Who do you think is going to start? Let me throw a question back at you, Alex. Who do you think starts Week 1 for this football team?
Quarterback,
easily,
right?
Mr. Trubisky.
Easily.
It's Mitch Trubisky. They have pieces around them that I like. Now, like I said, I trust them coaching more because the talent on paper, talent-wise, they don't look like they have much, especially defensive-wise.
Whoa. The defense is the strength of that team. What are you talking about?
But like outside of T.J. Watt, and I want to say
Minka Fitzpatrick. It's really not. They didn't re-sign Joe Hayden. True.
So I'm like, it's kind of looking iffy on them.
Like Matt said, Alex, we're going to preview the AFC and NFC North. We're going to have a deep dive preview into your Steelers, all right?
You called on the right day.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for the call, Alex. Let's get to the AFC and AFC North.
The divisions?
Yeah,
AFC North, okay.
I was going to ask you guys' opinion on Daniel Jones' 2-series performance yesterday, but...
Crap. That's all I'm going to say. Crap.
Wow.
Okay.
So, by the way, I was just going to say I heard your talk about the New York Giants just ripping on the New York Giants.
What do you got to say to me?
Well, no, you're right.
Okay, thank you.
No, but like,
I knew you'd agree with me.
I agree, but I'm just saying, I have faith that Joe Shea and Brian Dale are going to be good. Okay, I actually have faith in that.
But look at the roster they put together.
Well, I think they'll be a little bit better. How about that?
Oh, I think they'll improve for sure, but improving on last year doesn't mean much.
I think Joe Judge really set that team back. I really do.
Yes.
And Joe Judge was terrible. Dave Gettleman was horrendous. I think those guys being out the door is going to help this team tremendously. I don't know how many wins they're going to have, but I think they're going to be good in terms of just being more competitive. Jones is going to be a little bit better. But look, I don't blame people that knock the Giants because the last 10 years they've been bad. No matter who the head coach has been, it's been bad, particularly Joe Judge. But look, I think the Jones was average, a little average. I have always said he's going to get benched during the year.
By the way, they're saying Tyrod Taylor looks phenomenal in camp.
But we're going to wait till he gets the injury he gets every year. The weird, how the hell did that happen to you? And
first of all, that Chargers team doctor should be in jail.
He literally assaulted Tyrod Taylor to give Justin Herbert a chance in the NFL. That's literally what it worked out. It did. Well,
in a couple years when we get the ESPN 30 for 30 with the doctor, I like the thing I'm still mad about to that day about that situation is the fact that he said, "No, I'm gonna just let it slide." I would have sued for.
Me too. You're getting an injection for pain. The SMR punctures your lung. How does that happen? If anybody's a doctor out there, 516-572-7440. Tell us how you inject somebody with cortisone and puncture their lung.
But watching that preseason game last night, you still see some of the same situations that you always see with Daniel Jones about his decision making, the fact that the lack of protection. He's always on the run. And then you have receivers like Kenny Galladay who can't get no separation, and it kind of proves. I'm not going to lie, how Kenny Galladay has been playing with the Giants proves to me. I don't know. They might consider Matt Stafford a Hall of Fame in the way he can make that. he made him look like a Pro Bowl All Pro receiver.
He's done that with so many guys that weren't that great. Remember Marvin Jones in Detroit went off.
Nate Burleson.
No. Okay, I wasn't prepared for the Matt Stafford Hall of Fame case, but you make a compelling point.
He's in for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on if the career ends for me, but he's in.
He got a Super Bowl. That was the only thing missing.
He got the ring. He has the stats. As long as he keeps putting up these numbers, I don't care if he wins the ring. He's in.
You know the funny thing about that is I just seen a clip from Deion Sanders today where he said, the Hall of Fame is just let anybody in nowadays.
That's true.
It's like my head should not be with some of these heads that's here.
That was a direct shot at Eli Manning, by the way.
No,
I swear to God,
Eli's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer to me.
In yet. So what is Deion saying? But also, he's a Hall of Famer.
Because everybody knows he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but people question, was that guy above and beyond talented as an NFL quarterback?
Deion Sanders' claim was, some of these dudes, when you make the Hall of Fame, you have to make it because you were a game changer. They can't tell the story of NFL football without you.
That's a good
Some of these players,
Eli Manning qualifies in that what you just said for me.
That's very,
serious.
Very true.
Because he beat Tom Brady.
Yes,
he got two off that boy too.
Yeah,
he got two off him.
Yeah, Eli's a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt. And look, it just goes to show you why it's so tough to get a quarterback.
Oh, second time out. Before I did see something because on the I Am Athlete podcast they did bring this up, and mind you, it was Antrell Rowe who was a former teammate of his. When they brought up the case, they was like this. You know, he's basically even, he's 50-50 wins, 50-50 losses.
Yeah.
I was like, does that relatively give you a chance at the Hall of Fame? You did
look at the teams he played on towards the end.
Yeah,
that's all I will say.
Yeah, I agree. John Mara and Ben McAdoo and everybody, those guys ruined Eli Manning and ruined the team,
including benching him for Geno Smith. But
all I got to say is he got 2 rings off the greatest dynasty in NFL football history.
Agreed.
So there we go. We got a caller on WHPC Sports Talk. Caller, you're on the air. Who are you? Where are you calling from? Hello, caller.
All right. Call back.
Call back, please.
516-572-7440. Call back.
Yes. I think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer easy. But people... Oh, there he is again. There is a...
What? Oh, no, what?
Nothing.
Don't scare me. What?
Nothing. Caller, you're on WHPC Sports Talk. What's going on?
Hey guys, what's shaking?
What's going on?
You made a mention about the Hall of Fame as far as the NFL.
Yeah.
You got to realize, in the old days, those guys didn't get paid a lot of money, so they sort of had to hang out for 9, 10, 12 years to make a name for themselves. The players of today get the big money early, and they really don't have to extend themselves past 5 or 6 years. And again, with the injuries and stuff like that and concussions, if you got the money in the bank, why would you want to stick around?
But to Deion's claim, a lot of people thinking he was talking about Eli. He actually mentioned somebody who is considered one of the greats, Night Train Lane, who's a former Hall of Fame. He's like, my bus shouldn't be with his. It's like this. I'm at a higher level, basically. And to your point, he did say something about these guys just had a 3-year or 2-year stretch where they were great. He's like this. He's talking about longevity.
Yeah, and you've got to understand, and again, I'm a lot older than you guys. In the 50s and 60s and in the early part of the 70s, defensive backs had 10 yards, and linebackers had 10 yards to finish off wide receivers. Now it's 5. And, back then, if you even got off the line, you were lucky, and then the defensive backs, the safeties and stuff like that, were rather vicious. And even if you did catch the ball, you had to cover up real fast. Again, it's the way the game evolved, but you had back then, unfortunately, you had to stick around a long time to get recognition.
That's true. I mean, it's the thing. Peak longevity. Again, what really decides the NFL Hall of Fame? Now, other Hall of Fames like the NBA, they like you said, let everybody in.
Yeah.
MLB's
it's
tight.
It's getting there for me though.
Yeah, but the NFL has always been very, very exclusive in terms of who they let in. You really have to be. Here's my word again. Generational. You got to be generational to get in there.
But it's kind of sometimes very biased in this sense. Because,
it's a popularity contest.
Yes, it is because we all know that Terrell Owens should have been in first ballot. There should have been no question.
Yeah, well, again, wide receiver is a very strange position because if you're with a good quarterback or a good offensive system, you really stand out. And if you haven't got the quarterback, like with, as you were saying, Mitch Trubisky, as they call him. Well, that's what he's known as. He's a team killer. But again, if you haven't got the quarterback, you're not going to be a good receiver.
That's one of the reasons why Deion Sanders said what he said, because you got to realize when Deion was playing, every quarterback he played against almost it was a great wide receiver and quarterback combo during the time that Deion Sanders played. So when you go against
okay, I'm sorry. Look, can I throw something at you at college? This is what do you call it? The TV stations threw $1 billion at the college, and the way it's going to work is your 12 o'clock game. And again, I'm out in Nevada, but your 12 o'clock game is going to be Fox. The 3:30 game is going to be CBS, and on Saturday night you have that's the NBC game, and ABC and ESPN, which is owned by Disney, they're going to hang on to the SEC.
Interesting.
All right.
It's so much going on with the TV networks, and thank you for the call, Dave. He always has good stuff.
I give ESPN credit for college football. I like them way better for that than NFL football.
Yeah.
I like ESPN's college stuff way better than the NFL stuff. We don't know. This year they're having actual professionals in there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely see. Once again, 516-572-7440. We appreciate the calls, everyone. Getting them fast and furious today. I love it.
Yeah, if we get an answer to your call, please call back. We will get to you at some point.
Absolutely. Please call back.
There are points today where we had 3 calls at the same time. Yes. We can't answer everybody, unfortunately. Call back. We will pick up.
516-572-7440 once again. All right, fellas, let's get to our... let's start with the AFC North as promised. This is such an interesting division to me. Yeah. There are so many storylines that come with this division. The defending AFC champion Bengals, the Ravens who are, healthy and they get Lamar Jackson, a motivated Lamar Jackson who's looking for a new deal. You have the Cleveland Browns, and you have the aforementioned Steelers who, and I'll make the point, I've always said this, it doesn't matter who you put out there at any position. Mike Tomlin is going to find a way to have, again, there's no 500 records anymore, but he's never had a below 500 record as an NFL head coach. Think about how insane that is.
Well, I mean, last year was a slight technicality because the tie. Remember they had a tie?
Yeah.
Well,
snuck
but
in.
That's still okay, but you gotta remember
it's very, very close last year.
You gotta remember the quarterback that he had.
That's true.
Ben Roethlisberger was the closest thing to having just like a regular Joe Schmo guy out there. Like
just take a fan who's slightly overweight and put him behind under center, have him hand the ball to Najee Harris a bunch of times.
And I was looking at some of those passes. I was just like, that's not an NFL quarterback right there.
Yeah,
not anymore.
It's sad. It's sad how the killer bees went out. Bell, Brown, and Ben.
Oh yeah, they went out like some punks for real. Let me just say this:
a boxer, a rapper, and Big Ben on retired. That's what it is.
I thought you. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not.
No.
Why did I think I know where he was going?
We see a lot of crazy stuff on Friday. That would take the cake. Don't do it.
This is a. We're not getting wild on Friday. This Friday.
You even said the Browns and left it. Don't do this.
Oh wait, you was going. I knew you was going.
Don't do it.
Yeah, fellas. So the AFC North.
The play on the field, the division, right?
What storyline do you think is most intriguing out of this division? We'll start there.
Okay, to me, I would have went with the Ravens, but I feel like since the Bengals are the defending division champ in their division,
yeah,
I'm gonna go with them. Was last season a fluke?
Ooh, I like that storyline
because I felt like they had a lot of opportunities and a lot of advantages that went their way that predicated them getting to where they were in playoffs. Because you look at it like this: prior to last year, the Ravens dominated the Bengals every year. They were basically Lamar Jackson's highlight reel, where he had the whole spin.
Was it the spin? It's been on three guys.
And then you got to understand, Burrow couldn't get protection. He still really doesn't have it, but last year he wasn't going against elite pass rushers last year, so
until the Super Bowl.
He still had time. But I just want to see, was that a fluke? Especially with the Ravens coming back healthy, you don't have a situation where it's just Marlon Humphreys out there by himself. Now you have Marcus Peters back, and you have a great secondary coming with them. So that's very interesting. That's where I'm taking it.
All right. That's your biggest story. The Bengals are fluke. So who you got winning the division? If you had to pick a winner.
If I had to pick a winner?
No. Do you want to do that last? Do you want to do standings last?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that last. My biggest storyline is going to be Deshaun Watson. Like, how many games are you going to play? Yeah. How many games are you going to be allowed to play? The NFL wants him out for the entire season, obviously all 17. They want to fine him over tens of millions of dollars.
I'm hearing that he's trying to compromise.
He wants $8 and $5 million.
You don't get to dictate.
Why are you putting offers on the table here?
Who are you to haggle with the NFL here, Sean? What?
When he got that many of games, that was first issue.
Yeah.
I was like, I believe like Ezekiel Elliott got the same amount. And I was like,
Calvin Ridley got a whole season for gambling one time.
But let's say, mind you, I just want to point out, it was for his team to win. It wasn't like he was like,
he wasn't playing either.
Yeah, it was like this. Look, it was like he wasn't saying, "Hey, my team's going to lose. I know they're going to lose, so I'm betting against them."
Yeah,
no, I'm betting for them to win.
He didn't have any kind of inside information. It wasn't like insider trading garbage and he wasn't even playing on the field.
Well, it's a huge red flag if you're picking the Falcons to win football games.
That is true. He's been putting
I'm just gonna say.
Wait, that's coming from a very malicious place, you Saints fan.
I have no shame.
The Falcons were good last year?
I have no shame.
No, they were not.
Exactly. What's the problem?
Well, we know where that's coming from, though.
I'm gonna piggyback off Matt's point, and again, I believe because the NFL is the Sue Robinson thing was cute. Mm-hmm. It's a nice face to have on the decision, but the NFL inevitably decides how many games Deshaun Watson is going to get suspended.
Can I give you a hot take on the Browns?
Yeah.
So I think if Deshaun Watson. I think the number of games the suspension determines their finish, and everyone's finish the division very strongly.
Okay.
I think if Deshaun Watson gets suspended all 17, they're in fourth.
This real quick, if Deshaun Watson gets suspended the full 17 games, which I believe he will, I think they trade for Jimmy G. I think that's the team out of pure desperation, because I don't think
they're not going to rock with Brissett.
I don't think Brissett is it. Jimmy G is a proven.
But you don't think they'll deal with Brissett for a year and have Deshaun for the next 3?
I would do.
I would do that. Why would you trade assets for that?
I would go Brissett for a year.
I would see what he's got. Punt on the year if you have to.
Yeah, I feel like if the Browns really want to kind of go for it, I think they gotta go Garoppolo. If that's
what I'm saying.
But why is this the year? If you have Watson for the next few,
I don't think it's a year either because of how tough their division is.
And the whole conference.
I think they should go with Brissett, but then again, they are the Browns.
But then, like,
so I have no idea what they're going to do.
But then, like, you gotta. I always look at it like this. As much as we could just say, okay, sign this person or trade for this person, we still have to take in their contracts and just the money issue. Would that be setting them back for future years? I'm thinking if you stick with Brissett, at least you have contracts that you can actually work around, and you still have you can still do things like in the next off season. You can actually probably get more weapons because people forget you still have Amari Cooper, so you add on to that. So I'm thinking, and then you actually have to still deal with the fact that Kareem Hunt is requesting a trade.
Yes.
So it's not just that going in. You have to think of all the ramifications that go along with trying to trade for somebody like that.
You could trade Kareem Hunt for Jimmy G.
But I'll say this, to your point, Ross, teams don't think like that. They don't say, okay, the Bengals and Ravens, it's their division. We just got to mail it in for this year. We can't trade any assets.
Everyone thinks they have a chance in the NFL, and it's kind of pathetic sometimes.
That's how y'all think my Giants. That's how y'all think my Giants is going to think this year. We just going to mail it in.
Well, they're not as good as the Browns. They're not.
They might mail it. I mean, look, they might mail it in because they have no, they want to get a new quarterback. That's very That's true. I know this sounds absolutely nuts for the New York Giants. I hope they win 2 games. I really do. I hope they win 2 games because I want a new quarterback.
That has been your MO for years. As long as I've known you, Ross, you want the Giants to tank for a quarterback.
I do.
There's no quarterback. There's no quarterback in the
draft.
In the draft,
worth tanking.
Now,
for.
Can I say this? I would want us to trade for Jimmy G.
Oh, really?
That is not a plug and play ready roster to me.
I'm going to blow a hole in that argument right now, bro, because Jimmy G, we seen him with the San Francisco 49ers. Great running game, great defense.
Threw the ball 9 times and won a playoff game.
Yes. The Browns have that type of roster where he can be successful there. You're asking Jimmy G to do a lot of he's the Giants quarterback with the holes on that roster.
Come on, you said people forget last season. How many times did Baker get sacked? Then I didn't see them improve on the offensive line.
But that's not what we're talking about, though. Like, we have Nick Chubb in the backfield, who's definitely better than Saquon Barkley as a running back.
Yeah.
You cannot dispute Chubb. No, Nick Chubb is so much better than Saquon Barkley.
You have
just running. I'm not talking about
such rose-tinted glasses when it comes to Saquon, and I love Saquon.
Because use a number 2 pick on him. You have to.
Saquon can do more. He can catch out the backfield.
I agree with that. As a receiver, Saquon's better.
But the Giants
as a pure runner, Nick Chubb is so much better.
What I will say, though, is that I do think with Brian Dable, they are going to run the football a lot more, and they're going to be better. I think their offense will.
Hope he holds up. That's all I'm going to say.
Their offense I think he's going to have a better game plan than Joe Judge or any of these.
I would hope so.
I think he will.
He's not going to QB sneak on the 9, is he? On 3rd down.
Wow, you hate the Giants.
I don't hate them. I hated that play by JoJo. I watched that live.
I agree with you. I
do not hate the Giants. I'm not very high on them because they proved nothing to me.
I agree, and I just think Judge set them back.
I agree.
Do. I think Joe Judge really completely set them back. And also Gettleman as well. Gettleman also did not help. But I think this is a fresh, clean slate now. You don't have Garrett anymore. You don't have any of these guys. You have guys that came from a winning organization with Joe Shane, with Brian. I do think that is going to help a little bit.
All right.
Look, the roster, yes, it is not good enough. I will clearly understand that. But also, Joe Shane had no choice. He had to get rid of Bradbury. He had to get rid of these players.
Agreed.
There's no choice. Unfortunately, by him releasing guys like that, he went to our divisional rival. That's unfortunately. But the fact is he had to do that. In terms of the offense, Barkley, if he holds up, that's a big if.
Yes.
I think he will be a little better. Again, I don't think Jones and Burrow will be here for the long term. I think they're both gone after this year. Maybe they even trade Barkley if he's good and they're out of it. I hope they do that because then we will get something back.
I think that's the best case scenario. And again, I would love to see Saquon Barkley in New York because he's that kind of personality where he flourishes here.
Yeah, be successful here.
I would love to see him be in New York his entire career. But I think the best case scenario is you let him improve his value. You use him how he's supposed to be utilized as a runner receiver.
Yes.
And you trade him for a second, 3rd round pick.
Yeah, that's
Can I give you a crazy Saquon hypothetical I just thought of?
Let's hear it.
I'm thinking who's on the bubble of contending that could put them over the edge, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking the Raiders aren't too confident in Josh Jacobs anymore.
Maybe.
Let's just say Josh Jacobs isn't having a good start to the year, and Saquon goes to play in Vegas.
That's a good one.
I'm thinking about like that would be so. I would love to watch him in Vegas.
I would
He would be
too.
phenomenal.
I
in
would
Vegas.
watch him every game in Vegas.
Yeah, I would too. And by the way, when I bring up the whole like wanting to win 2 games type of thing,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bang my head against the wall if they win like
No.
week 2. But I'm just I'm not gonna.
That's
do that.
1 out of 2.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But I look at things a lot differently in the sense that if I know I could possibly have a dynasty with a great quarterback coming out, I'm gonna do that and punt 1 season to make that happen.
That's totally reasonable.
I don't see any quarterbacks in the draft that's coming out that's like this entire.
There's no like a Joe Burrow in this year. Then again, let's see how the college season plays out though. Joe Burrow had that one great year and got drafted number 1 overall.
That's true. And look,
Let's watch the college season and we'll see.
Yeah, if the quarterbacks are looking great in college and they're having great season, I'm okay with the Giants winning 2-3 games because I just don't think Jones is the guy going forward.
Interesting.
We're talking about the AFC North though. I brought up Joe Burrow and it made me think. Wait, we had a conversation.
Yeah, I definitely want to
Here's
get
the
to
NFC North too.
I absolutely want to get to the NFC North as one-sided. I think it may be. The people want to see what we have to say.
Okay.
So, AFC North prediction standings 1-4. Who we got? We'll start with you, Matt.
Bengals are going to win the division. The Ravens are going to be close in second and still make the playoffs. They're both going to be good.
Okay.
I think Deshaun is going to be out for a long period of time, so I'm going to put them 4, and the Steelers are going to be 3. Steelers could contend for the 7th or 6th wild card spot. I think this division has potential for 3 playoff teams. They're good. The AFC West is going to make that hard.
I'm not even going to waste time with mine because that's my exact prediction.
Okay.
Steelers 3, Browns 4.
Okay.
Bengals winning.
I got Ravens 1.
Okay.
I got Bengals 2. I got Steelers 3, and I got Browns 4.
All right.
My saying with that is just the fact that Lamar almost carried a team that was totally injured to the playoffs until he got injured.
It's like the Aaron Judge situation. When you're motivated to play for money, you're going to go ball out.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ravens are in first this year, Bengals second, Steelers third, Browns fourth.
Wow, so we all have the Steelers third.
And the Browns 4th.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting considering if Deshaun Watson only gets to spend his 6 games, they could so overtake the Steelers for me.
They could.
But then again, he hasn't played football in almost 2 years.
And again, Alex's call, Mike Tomlin. I don't care.
The 3rd and 4th going to be more intriguing than the 1st and 2nd.
Honestly,
I'm telling you right now.
I don't know who I trust more in football than Mike Tomlin. Quarterback, individual player,
That's
defense.
a great point.
Who do I trust more than Mike Tomlin?
Tomlin's the best. He's my favorite guy. I mean, I do. The guy that I always love, and I know he doesn't get a lot of. He has not made it to a Super Bowl yet. I get that. Mike Vrabel. I have full faith in Mike Vrabel.
That's a great one. That's a great one. We'll get to the AFC and NFC South next week.
I thought we were doing that 4th.
Oh, yeah, we are doing that.
The West is next week.
We're doing the West 4th. We're doing the West 4th.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Next week is South.
That's the big.
That's right. Next week is South. We're getting it out of the way because the AFC South is so bad.
The AFC South is bad.
NFC South, I want to talk to you about next week.
Oh,
Let's see, man.
Let's get to your team right now.
All right,
Matt.
fine. Can I give you one quick thing on the AFC North before we wrap this up?
Sure.
Kenny Pickett's going to start week 1. Go on.
Okay. All right. So I kind of we have less time on this, but maybe it's a good thing because I think we're all in agreement on the Packers winning this division. Right?
Yeah, I think it's easy.
Okay. You want my standings real quick?
Sure.
Hit it. All right. The Green Bay Packers are Lambeau leaping into first place once again. Not only will they finish first in their division, they'll make at least, I guarantee you, at least another NFC Championship appearance. And I cannot say what will happen past there because I never know what's going to happen after that game starts.
Wow, okay. So again,
I'm not being a homer here. I'm really not. I think it's a reasonable thing to say they'll make the NFC Championship. I think that's totally reasonable.
I agree with you, and I talk all this stuff about Aaron Rodgers. He dates witches and he
does psychedelic drugs on the field.
Psychedelics and all this stuff. But again, you have a great quarterback still.
The defense is the highlight this year.
This defense.
Think about it. The defense is the highlight, and you still have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball.
We talk about the Saints defense. We talk about other defenses around the league.
They're not number 1, but they'll be top 3.
The Packers are going to be damn good on defense.
I know.
They're going to be a great defense team. I don't know about their offense. Outside of Rodgers, of course.
I love the running back 10. If you don't talk about them enough, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are both coming back.
Yeah.
They're both fully committed. They're coming back for a few more years.
I worry about
That's a great tandem in the backfield.
I worry about Devontae Adams not being there.
I do too. I have faith in Christian Watson. I really do. And I keep saying the name, Romeo Doubs. Watch him. He's Rodgers' favorite target in training camp so far. I'll be watching the preseason game tonight if it's on here. Watching for him. Number 87. He's wearing Jordy Nelson's old number.
Yeah, I'll again. We talk about preseason, but I'll be watching Amari Rodgers closely too. I still am a believer.
That's interesting. I like the way they can use him like a Swiss Army knife in the offense.
Swiss Army knife, and he will produce. He's just so He's so great in open space. He's phenomenal.
When the Packers started running more jet sweep motion, not even if they didn't hand it out like a fake jet sweep. They did that with Devontae Adams. Did it with guys like MDS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That is, they did that for a while, and that's almost single-handedly how their offense is able to beat the Rams in that playoffs game.
All the best teams have great pre-snap motion in the NFL. And the Packers have been doing it longer than I think anyone.
No, they've been doing it well, but the play action is different.
That's true.
Recently, they started with the fake jet sweep stuff.
Mike LaFleur really brought that in.
Matt LaFleur.
Very true. Matt LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur's the Jets guy.
Can't get the
It's fine. They're brothers. It's fine. Both M's. Whatever.
Now, real quick, we all have the Packers winning, right?
Yeah. This break is intriguing to me.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. So I think the Vikings are going to finish second because they have the best quarterback out of those three remaining teams.
They have the best pure roster to me, like far and away of the remaining three.
Here's my question, though. We think the Vikings are making the playoffs?
No,
I don't think so.
Not this year.
Okay.
I think they're a little ways away.
If they make it, they'll squeak in into 7.
Yeah, I think it's.
I love their offense. You know how I feel about Justin Jefferson after yesterday.
Oh yeah,
he's going to go off, but I don't see much. I think Dalvin Cook has injury risk still.
Yeah, it's easy. The Packers first, Vikings second, Bears will be last.
I agree. I'm 100% with Ross. Lions third.
Lions.
I'm with Ross.
Yeah, I think the Lions
third. Wow,
they're going to improve.
I think they're going to improve, and I do like Dan Campbell. I do think
I love Dan Campbell.
I love Dan Campbell.
I say Hard Knocks this year was the best thing that can happen to Detroit. They got so many new fans.
They got exposure to Dan Campbell's lunacy.
It's just like that year that the Jets were on Hard Knocks with everybody.
Yeah,
look, I don't know. I'm not
Rex
the biggest. I'm not the biggest Jets fan, right?
Yeah,
but when I watched that Hard Knocks team, I was so invested in the team. That
personalities.
Year. Yeah, I was just so invested in that year. Like I literally knew everybody, even the fullback name that nobody knew, like John Connors, because
the Terminator.
Yes, I was that invested in the team that I knew the whole roster.
Let me say, the Detroit Lions. I'm not very high on them in terms of playoff success. Based on what they did last year and what they had a great draft, by the way. I love what they did in the draft.
It felt like last season they just had a black cat in that arena because they should have won a lot more games.
That's what
Justin Tucker kick.
Oh yeah,
was unreal.
The NFL record one?
The NFL record.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, he's the GOAT as far as kickers are concerned. That's why he's getting paid what he is. But I'm going to give you a bit of an interesting prediction here. The Vikings, to me, have. I'm going to say it fine. The Lions have the potential to finish over the Vikings. A lot of things have to go right for Detroit.
That's bold.
If their luck flips and they win some of those close games, they're going to have a better record than last year. And last year, Corey's right. They were in a lot of the games they lost to the last play.
That's incredible.
If their luck flips, they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think I'm not that high on them because Jared Goff is Jared Goff. But if Kirk Cousins has a regression from last year, he was great last year. If he regresses, and their defense is really bad in Minnesota.
That's the thing too. Like
their defense is really bad.
I was going to bring up that they brought in this hot shot from the Rams, Kevin O'Connell, but he's an offensive guy. That defense needs help, and still
the lack of talent on that defense is bad. Harrison Smith is showing his age. He was the star of that defense for a while. I can't name you any more stars in that defense besides him. Barr left. Xavier Rhodes is not what he was. He's gone anyway. Trey Waynes isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
they have nobody worth watching on that defense unless Harrison Smith can find the fountain of youth.
And we know in the NFL, you can score a lot of points and get a lot of viewers and a lot of hits on NFL Red Zone. But if you're not playing defense, it's going to be slow for you.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of games that way. And the Lions, I have faith in their defense a little more than the Vikings, I'm telling you honest with you. Okuda's still young. He may be able to take a step forward and be somewhat decent for them. I love Hutchinson.
Yes.
Their second overall pick this year. I love Hutchinson.
I can't wait to watch Jameson Williams.
They have some serious talent, young talent on the Lions roster.
Absolutely.
They're going to be. The Lions have a very bright future. I will always say that. I like the way that they were dysfunctional for a long time. They will get back on track. I'm not even talking playoffs this year. They're not making the playoffs, but the Lions, I think they will improve. They will be in games, and I think they will win obviously more games this year than they did a year prior. And Well, they gave teams run for their money last year. That's just the way it was. And as I always said, they had the best 3-win season of all time.
You know what? I'm gonna get a little gutsy here. I'm gonna change my prediction. I'm gonna go Lions are gonna go 2. Wow. I'm gonna go on the record.
You commit.
Okay. I'm committing. I'm doubling down on that. I feel confident the Lions can finish second over the Vikings.
Okay.
That defense. I thought about it. They're so bad.
That's bold right there.
I don't think they're gonna get more than 8 wins. I think the Packers are gonna run away with this. They could have 13 wins this year easily. Looking at their schedule, but
they always get 13 wins. The Packers. Well, most.
I'm aware, but then look what happens. So that's why I guarantee you in the NFC Championship appearance, I cannot say anything after that whistle blows and that game starts.
Wait, you want 10 wins and you want the Super Bowl. I hope they get 10 wins and get the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
There we go. AFC, NFC North. The fellas just broke it down. I think it's time to bring in the closer, Matt.
Eric, if you're listening, we're hijacking the bit. Do it.
It is time for our final thoughts, fellas. Friday final thoughts.
All right.
Start with you, Matt.
Don't start with me.
Kory, we'll start with you.
Well, yesterday, did you see what AB had to say when he told?
This is a good one.
AB basically said, like, it had to be one of the most self-absorbed things I've heard in a long time. He said, only regret I have about football was not the frozen feet thing, not calling his owner a racial, his GM something racial.
Yep.
It was the fact that he couldn't watch himself play live.
The craziest part of that quote is when he compared himself to the Beatles and then Jesus Christ.
Par for the course.
That was the craziest part. He goes, it's like watching the Beatles or Jesus. And I was like, what?
Par for the course for Antonio Brown, I must say.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, he's the poster child of the NFL needs better helmets. He is the poster child for that.
Oh, CTE boys.
Yeah. Maybe he was right when he had the helmet thing, remember? He's like, I want to wear my helmet. Maybe he was right.
That whole thing, is like, everybody's so guilty in that. Like in Tampa Bay, because if you understand, Brown was dumb, Bruce Arians was dumb, GM a little bit was dumb. They were all dumb. Like, it was just nobody was like, you can't defend anybody with that.
I agree. May I go with my final thought? I'm ready now.
You finally got it?
I'm ready now.
Okay,
because I forgot to have it earlier in the show and I lost it. Mets Old-Timers Day is coming up. One of our callers mentioned, I forgot who it was. One of them mentioned Mets Old-Timers Day roster's out. I love this roster. There's one glaring hole. Well, 2 actually. One, David Wright is not going to be there.
Oh, that's...
He said in an interview, I'm not old enough to be an old-timer. And I said, Jose Reyes is going, and he's younger than you.
Yeah, come on, David.
Or I think he is. He's a little older maybe, but around the same age. And the big glaring hole to me is the guy that committed to be there will not be there. And the reason I wanted to go will not be there. Yoenis Cespedes chickened out, and he will not be in New York for Old-Timers Day. Yoenis Cespedes, you are a wimp. Wherever you are, just show up and take the booze.
Come on, Cespedes. Come on. Regrettably, that's it for WHPC Sports Talk for the day and the week. This week was on fire, man.
Oh, yeah.
This was a great week.
Great week, I agree.
From Matt Leonard, Kory David, Ross Levine, I am Joshua Umahi saying thank you once again for listening on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.